Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5.
From carrying each other to a natty to carrying each other on the air.
Flynn is back to throw for the end zone. Boom!
Live from the Raising Cane studio, it's Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here live from the Raising Cane studio. It is Tuesday at 9 a.m., so we catch up with our guy, Nick Underhill, New Orleans Football. Nicholas, how we doing, sir?
Oh, it's doing great. How you doing?
Doing great. So, Matt and I are a little bit older. So, like trends, we typically don't hear them until they're way outdated. But Alondra, being one of the youths here on the show, she just brought a trend to the airwaves, and it's like somebody you find attractive that maybe others don't. It's hear me out.
Hear me out.
Right? Yeah, like hear me out. Like, you got to kind of hear me out, this person.
So mine was Willem Dafoe, just like as an example.
Yeah, and Martha Stewart's name was thrown around the studio here as well. So, Nick, before we get started with Saints, who is the hear me out?
I only got eyes for the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life, and that's my wife. So, I don't have a hear me out. I just love my wife, and she's number one on my list and the only one on my list.
I hate that answer so much.
Yeah, I just said,
hey, man,
fun place.
But I'm just putting y'all on game, man. Y'all are gonna say some shit and not to hear about it. I'm not. So hear me out.
Okay, all right.
In public spaces.
All right. But you're a lot of fun at parties. All right, Nick. Let's get into the New Orleans Saints. I actually saw Mickey Loomis and most of the staff over the weekend. Roman Harper was getting into the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame, and so the Saints showed up, which was kind of cool. The Saints, they always kind of show up for stuff like that. And certainly like the Senior Bowl, they always show up because they're the closest team, and they send everybody. But look, I've been a part of some organizations that I love, but they don't send out people like that. I know it's a quick drive over, fly over, whatever the situation is, but it is very cool to see Jeff Ireland was there. The whole team. The whole team was there to support Roman Harper, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've always said this about them. It kind of feels like family business here, more so. Some of the other places I've been have been more corporate atmospheres, and I think that's kind of maybe the effect too of just having people that have been around forever, and you kind of have the continuity and all that stuff, and there's real ties and in real history, and not just trotting people out there. It's actually all the same people all the time and all that stuff, but. They definitely, there's a little bit of heart and soul inside of this thing that can be very soulless and heartless at times. But it's cool to see it kind of come through, and I definitely think that's there. I know Mickey has a public persona and everything, and he'll be shrewd and do what he has to do. But he is a person that's going to show up for people that he cares about. So I think you see that there. And bringing everybody out is kind of a show of that too. Like you said, Jeff and all them people being out there, it's just kind of how they do things around here. And it is nice to see that in those moments, people actually do care. And it's not just, just this cold, heartless thing.
Right.
I think that's probably why Mickey has hung on so long in his job is because of the way, and like you said, it's a little bit different with the Saints organization. I think in 30 to 31 other teams, there'd probably be a new GM in place right now. But look, he's on a heater right now, and he's making a lot of moves, and there's a lot to be hopeful for Saints fans. And so, of course, the draft was, a week and a half ago now. Now that the dust has kind of settled and you've had more time to collect your thoughts, I'm sure doing a lot more studying on all these players. Give us your kind of a little after the fact grade and just kind of talk about the draft and what you've kind of had time to think about a little bit.
Yeah, I've just been kind of really looking at the Oscar Delp pick quite a bit because I think that signifies a possible significant change in how they want to operate overall on offense and just what they do. Yesterday I was finishing up, I've been working on this this huddle study of just like I wanted to see if there were any tells on because they operate with so much tempo. I wanted to see if there were any tells between run and pass with the amount of time they spend in a huddle. Like is a run call shorter than a pass call because they're in and out so fast in these sugar huddles. But more importantly, like the only thing that I really found that was kind of like indicative of anything is their substitution patterns. When they go to heavy from 11, like it was almost run all the time. Staying in 13, going to the next snap to 13, it was like 80% run percentage. I think Delp's someone that changes that. Like it allows them to get into these different looks and do different things and line up different ways and use all three of these tight ends and use them advantageously and not have these tells. I just think we're going to see a more explosive offense. Like we were talking about this on our show yesterday, just where does Shuck end up in fantasy rankings? Not even just real QB rankings, because I think those are two different things. But if you put all this firepower around him, like what is the expectation in terms of yardage, touchdowns, all this stuff? You look back at last year from week 9 on, he was 8th in the league in yardage, 16th in touchdowns. Now you add another first rounder or wide receiver. You add these 2 tight ends. You go out and get the highest paid guard, you get a new running back. Like what is the actual expectation in terms of these numbers at the end of the season? They're all in on this offense, man. Like it should produce, it should put up numbers. And if it doesn't, I think it's a drastic disappointment, but I like the direction of the team. I think it's interesting. Like, for a long time, people around the league that covered it, like they were always a team that was held up as like the example of like what not to do. Like all the people that have hated everything they've done forever, all of a sudden they're like, oh man, like I kind of like what they're doing here. Like the direction's different. So, I mean, it does just kind of feel healing. Like this offseason feels a little bit healing. Now in November, you might find out that, there's a severed artery that nobody's seen and it's bleeding out the back and it was all fake. But I like the direction of the team right now.
Yeah, Nick. So I think Taylor, was it Ross that came out with a article recently? It was talking about basically like which position groups got better in the draft. And like I was reading through it and I was like, you know what? Hell, like the quarterback position group got better throughout this draft. And so like you said, more explosive and everything. Keep it simple, stupid in the draft. Build around Tyler Shuck and make him better. Yeah,
it's kind of, like if you're like trying to decorate a house and you're on a budget and you don't got all the money, like, you don't want to put half the money in the living room and half the money in the dining room. Like let the dining room go, just get a dumb table off of Facebook Marketplace, have a place to sit, make the living room fire. And that's going to be where you host everybody. And if you have a good time, it's going to be because your living room's decked out and that's fine. Like they decked out the living room. Brandon Staley, I mean, it's kind of unbelievable when you really start boiling down the numbers. They had a top 10 defense and a ton of metrics and you look at the personnel and it doesn't feel like it adds up to that. I think they can sustain there. You got to get an answer at cornerback. I think that's a huge thing. Like somebody needs to emerge there. Julian Blackman's got to stay healthy, cover the slot, or Emerson's got to end up being a player. But they got to get some answers there. But this offense, look, why you're going to win games. Like it's going to work. So yeah, finish up one side, make Tyler Shuck as good as can be. If he's not good, okay, then like you have your answer there. Then you know where you got to go. But find out what your team actually is, and I think that's what they're doing. So, yeah, I like it. Like, the offense should be really good, and, I think the defense can find a way to sustain.
Catching up with our guy Nick Underhill, New Orleans Football here on OTB. Hey, talk to us about Xavion Harris. You signed him as a free agent, undrafted, out of Ole Miss, and if anybody was watching the NFL draft, when it was best available, Harris was the best available basically the entire draft. His name was always on the board. He goes undrafted. ESPN.com had him as the 63rd overall player in this draft. How does he go undrafted? Why does he go undrafted? And what is his potential with the New Orleans Saints?
63 feels rich. Like I think probably 120, 140 is kind of where the consensus was on him. But still, that's like getting a 4th rounder. Really, really good player, talented player, 6'8", 330, blocks a lot of field goals. Man, you watch we could do a cut up of 10 minutes of clips of him getting triple teamed, like, and just eating people up and creating rush lanes for other people. He earned his draft status. I'll say that. Like, he earned his draft status by how he has conducted himself in life, like a couple of really nasty situations. it led to that. Like, that's how a good player goes undrafted. Like, you get involved in domestic abuse and stuff like that. That's just what happens. So he's first and foremost got to, improve and show what he is off the field and be a good citizen. And then, we'll see how it translates on the field. But I think it's a good pickup for him, like in terms of football. Maybe you just stole a really good player and you add him to that mix, and that's a spot where they need more guys. I do wonder, like, if he's good, if Christian Miller's good, like, what does it do to Godchild? Like, all of a sudden he's in a spot where, I think he's maybe fighting for playing time and maybe even a role on the team. And, edge is interesting too. Man, you look at the guys over there, like, where's the fit for Cam Jordan right now? You go 4 deep on it. Like, somebody they brought in is either not on the team or inactive on game day. Is it Jennings? Is it Tyree Wilson? Like, we know Chase Young and Granderson are going to be there. Do you have a 5-guy rotation at defensive end? Like, it just doesn't feel like there's enough snaps for all these guys on the line. And I mean, those are good problems right now. That interior, I think, needed a lot of help. They got to improve the run defense. They were top 10 in yards against per carry, but the overall number was a little bit high. So, just don't be in a situation where people feel like they can try to run the ball on you. And that'd be a big step forward. But I like Harris quite a bit, man. The trajectory on his career too, like 3 years ago, 2.7 yards average depth to tackle. Last year it was like 1.6, I think. So you just see a guy improving too. If he can continue that and, keep it clean everywhere, I feel like they got a good player.
Nick, you always hear, like, post-draft, you always hear these stories about, like, there was trade offers made, trades almost happened, this or that almost happened. Have you, like, you're to the ground there in New Orleans, have you heard anything during the draft that maybe the Saints were trying to do, maybe trying to move somebody, trades that were trying to happen that just didn't go through?
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to go up in the second. Like, that was definitely something they were trying to do. They wanted to get like a DB or an edge rusher, and then that like little run on edges. Like they started making some calls there. Like, there was the normal amount of like kicking the tires before the draft. The Thibodeau thing, that's very real. That's going back to the combine. Like, they were trying to work out player for player trades. Since we're offering a fourth. I know there was a report that said the Giants were holding steady at a second. I think I had heard it was like around it got done like a third, and the Saints weren't willing to go up, and then they just shifted their energy to Tyree Wilson after that. But yeah, they were definitely looking around to move. But I think they got the guy they wanted to get in the first. Like, that was the target. I think if Sonny Styles had slided one more spot though, like, I think that changed the plans. I don't think they expected Sonny Styles to be available there, but if he had been there at 8, I think he would have probably been the pick. Delane was the plan B if Tyson went. Kansas City jumped them for him. Yeah. Everything I've heard is that they weren't taking Delane over Jordan Tyson to the point that, we recorded a 30-minute podcast on Jordan Tyson before the draft and didn't do one on Delane. So, I mean, like, that's where, I'm not just saying that after the fact, like, confidently felt that way. Yeah, but I don't think anything got super close or, nothing super juicy. Just the Thibodeau thing was very, very real though, and like going on for several months.
Nick, so there's going to be a lot of Saints fans that hear that and hear the Saints looking at veteran edge rushers, and you bring a former first-round pick in, now much younger than Cam Jordan, but Cam Jordan's still available. Cam Jordan very productive a year ago, right? They had a great plan with him. He didn't play as many plays, but he was more productive, 10.5 sacks. We all know the number. There's going to be a lot of Saints fans that wonder why Cam Jordan isn't just back on this team and why you're trying to make moves to bring in other guys to fill his production.
I think they should be doing both, honestly, but I think it's kind of dumb that Cam isn't on the team right now. Like, the number can't be that high. Like, I think the Saints are probably around 6.5, and I think Cam's probably at like 9.5, 10.
Yeah.
There's got to be a number. Like, there's got to be a number in there. Look, I think they should be bringing in guys like Tyree Wilson. Like, obviously, huge disappointment is a first-round pick, but for a fifth-round pick, yeah, like, that's a great guy to bring in. Take a look at him, see if there's something there. Maybe you re-sign him, maybe you don't. You get some help. Anthony Jennings, a younger than Cam, like a guy that can be a first-down DM, be really good against the run. That makes a lot of sense. I think there should be room for Cam, though. Like, this is a better team with Cam Jordan on it, and it's a better team with Alvin Kamara on it. And like, you've done all this stuff. I don't think Cam should be that expensive. I think both sides just got to swallow a little bit of whatever and just meet at a point. Like, there has to be a spot where it makes sense. Like, yeah, Cam's 37 years old. You need to be rebuilding your roster other places. But, I think it's not just being sentimental or anything. Like, I think they're actually a better team with both those guys on their roster.
Nick, I don't think there's ever been somebody play with a better attitude for a long period of time than Alvin Kamara has with the Saints. Like I saw a quote from him recently. Somebody was asking him about, with the addition of Travis Etienne, like what's your role going to be like? And I nailed the saying, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Well done.
Thank you. So like it's like, man, people think that there's a beef or I'm upset about it. He's like, I couldn't be happier that Travis is in the room. I hope it resembles like what Mark Ingram and I had. So like, how do you see that room playing out with Alvin Kamara still being on the team and presumably going to be on the team in the fall? So how do you see that kind of playing out if the season started today, both the guys lining up, that rotation?
Yeah, look, I believe him too. Like he's always had that. Like Kendra Miller came in here, and the very first quote we ever got from Kendra Miller was that he was trying to take Alvin's job and get all the carries and everything. And Alvin's like, cool, like
right.
let him do it. Like I don't want to carry the ball that much. Like let me be in my role. I hope he does do it. Like he's just always been that kind of guy. Like he is a good teammate. Like and he's one of those guys at practice too. Look, there's some vets that are always kind of cagey about their spot or whatever, trying to protect their square. And you'll just see him genuinely like taking the young guys to the side and trying to coach them up and do different stuff. And it doesn't always necessarily, show up that way in body language and all that stuff. And people try to decipher it, but like you watch his actions and his actions are what they are. Like I said, I think they're a way better team with both those guys. And I think Achane can be great for Alvin. Like Alvin doesn't want to get all those inside zone runs and be the third and one back or anything. Like put him out in space, get him the ball in the slot, get him on some screens, outside zone. Let that first point of contact be a linebacker instead of 330-pound Harris. Like Alvin doesn't want to take them hits, like if he doesn't have to. So yeah, I think he's definitely legitimately wide open to that. And yeah, I mean, look, he wants to be a part of the team. He was on Toronto Armstead's podcast and was talking about it. Like he wants to be on this team. We'll see what the Saints want to do. I think they're going to try to get him to take a pay cut. We'll see how that all plays out. I think there's still work to be done there. But those two guys together, I think you can have a really good backfield. Like Alvin in the right role, I think can be a huge weapon for your team.
Yeah, I agree there. And also like the drop off if AK's not on this team to Devin Neal and Kendre Miller and his availability to get on the field, that's a big drop off. And so if the Saints already have him on the books, the Saints, are under the cap, all those situations, and maybe it is a small pay cut, but still he does make your team better. It's not like he's, to a point where you're just basically having him on the team because he's been there and what he's done for the city. Like there's still a role. Now it's on the Saints to find that role, but the drop off between him and the next guys up, that's a big one.
Still a productive player, man. Like I don't understand I don't know. It just feels like a very hard wall in a way, just in the way that they've talked about it. Like Mickey was on, I think he was on with you guys on Sirius, and he got asked about Cam Jordan, who's not under contract, and the answer is basically like, the open, whatever. And then he got asked about Alvin. He's like, we got to figure it out. I don't want to talk about it. Alvin's actually the player under contract. Like, they're talking about him like he's the free agent who has a decision to make. Right. He doesn't have a decision to make. He signed a contract. There's $3 million guaranteed. He's on the roster. Right. It's just kind of weird how it's been talked about. It's interesting to me. But I think those two guys together, man, like, get Alvin out in the slot. Like use him like he was used in 17. Just that space guy. Let HN do all the other stuff. And I still think you watch him. People still bounce off him. He still breaks tackles. He's still great in space. Like it's right up the middle. Hasn't been great, but that's really never been his game. Yeah,
I am right there with you, and hopefully they can find a way to have him in the backfield and be a piece of this offense. All right, Nick Underhill, New Orleans Football. Good enough to join us every single Tuesday here on OTB. Nicholas, we appreciate the time, sir.
Yeah, take it easy, guys.
I wanted him to have a better answer.
The first one, you were kind of checked out after that one.
I completely tuned him out after he answered that way. I didn't care about anything else. Yeah. I mean, That's not how I mean it. Like, just have fun and answer the question.
Yeah. Come on, Nick.
All right.
It is hard to pull one right out of the spot, though.
Yeah. We had to think. We had a
fairness.
break to think about it, to be fair, but that answer was like,
Like, y'all love y'all's wives too, but y'all are gonna entertain the
I
question.
didn't say we're gonna run away.
Mm-hmm. And we're not gonna pick anyone in the vicinity of our age range either.
No, I mean that's not the
Crossing my
question.
neighbor off the list. Damn it.
Okay, that feels real. All right, we'll take a break. More OTB when we come back here live from the Raising Cane studio.
Off the bench.
All right, go to getgordon.com. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Always remember, throughout the state of Louisiana, it is very easy for you to get in contact with them a couple of different ways. You can go to getgordon.com. When you do, it's going to pull up a live chat with a live agent, and that is something where you can ask some questions, get those answers right there on the homepage. Now, you can pick up the phone in the state of Louisiana from top to bottom, everywhere in between. So from Shreveport to Houma, Lafayette to Monroe, does not matter. DeRidder, Alexandria,
Pineville.
Coshada, where?
Pineville.
Alondra, random Louisiana city. It's been a while.
Ethel.
Okay. Tay.
Duloc.
All right. Now we're cooking with the gas. No matter where you're at, it is your area code followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
That's right. Be a part of the G team. We see all the great work that Gordon McKernan does with LSU Athletics and that G team. If you've been injured, give them a call. Let them fight for you. GetGordon.com. That is GetGordon.com.
Off the bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. Presented by Community Steel.
All right, welcome back in, OTB. Turn back up just a little bit. All right, real quick, I do want to remind you that our friends over at Pala are adding to the team. We always talk about this. At Pala, you're not just another number. You're an employee, owner, and part of a real team. So remember this. Pala is hiring skilled welders and fitters at their fabrication shop in Hammond, Louisiana. Pay runs up to $40 an hour with overtime locked in through 2027, plus 6 paid holidays, 2 weeks paid vacation, full bennies, and employee ownership through their ESOP. If you can burn rod, no, Alondra, not you, you got to work here, fit steel, and take pride in your work, this is your opportunity. Apply now and build your future with Pala. Pala, employee-owned, relationship-driven, building together, palagroup.com, P-A-L-A group.com. Real quick to finish off our conversation with Nick Underhill, let's just sign Cam Jordan. Let's just let AK play out the contract. Like, they're still productive.
Mm-hmm.
You're better with them this year than without them.
I don't think there's any doubt.
We talked about it, like, I don't even remember when it was, a couple months ago. If you could franchise tag one person on the Saints, who would it be? And I think we all said Cam Jordan.
He makes your team better, to say the least. Like, and you brought in, like, Anthony Jennings is a good, solid pro. Like, he's going to give you production. He's not going to win a game. He's not going to take over a game. He's not going to, be a Monday meeting starter type guy. Mm-hmm. Tyree Wilson, you're going off maybe potential, which he had coming out of college, he hasn't shown in the National Football League, and you're going off, I can get the most out of that guy project type feel, which all coaches do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was a first-round pick. He was a bust there, but I can get the most out of him.
Yep.
And every coach does that. It's not just picking on Brandon Staley and the defensive staff. But you have, I would say, a top 3 player in franchise history that had 10.5 sacks and is still on the open market that wants to play for one team in his entire career.
Mm-hmm. And
it really feels like you're a couple of $1 million off of what each other wants, and you've got $10 million under the cap.
I had 10.5 sacks just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Mickey Loomis has been doing some absolute work in the court of public opinion. I gotta feel. I gotta think that, we were hyping it up a little bit, a little tongue in cheek there for a little bit, but like they haven't really missed on anything in recent history, I guess. And they have an opportunity here for a little bit of an offseason chef's kiss here. Just sign it. Just do the common sense thing. I think every Saints fan wants it. Sign Cam Jordan. If you're a couple $1 million off, fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Just get it done. Let him don't let him leave and be like that one like dark spot on the team coming up. Because that's what players are going to have to answer that question.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be something you're going to have to get over as a team. And not every person is like that. Only a special few people in franchise history are going to be like that, especially when it ends this way. If you're a couple $1 million off and you don't end up signing him, what that does to your locker room is like, oh, my God. Like, it takes a minute. Like, you get over it. You're all professionals there, and you'll get in and play your best and blah, blah, blah. But, like, it'll be a thing. It'll certainly be a thing within those walls, within that locker room. If the reason why, if he's saying, I want to come back, we're $1.5 million away.
Yeah.
We just can't get there. Can't get there for that guy? Why would the other people think that they would ever get there for you in the future?
So when you look on sportrack.com, which has everybody's contracts and what they made and what the market value, again, it's an estimate, what it would be. So last year, Cam made a little over $6 million. His evaluation is right at $6.8 million. Okay, reports are maybe 10. That's what Nick just said, okay? Give him 7.5 and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
He made 6 last year. He earned the right to get a little bump in pay.
Yep.
Give him 7.5 and call it a day.
You know what? If you get 10, give you another $1 million.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell.
If you get 10 again, we'll give you the 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you get 10 again, we will, whatever the contract is, we'll give you the
this
bonus.
contract? $1 million for every sack.
He just pays. He plays. If he doesn't get any, he can't get paid.
Yeah, he's free.
No, have incentives in the contract. Like, Cam makes you better on and off the field. Like, that's the thing too. Like, we're not talking about somebody that's only been with the franchise a little bit. We're not talking like this man has played his whole career in a Saints helmet. I think about like the love and the passion like everybody had for Demario Davis, and I get it. Like, Demario has played other places. And he just left. Cam's waiting to return. He wants to play for the Saints. He doesn't want to play for anybody else. And you're only a couple of $1 million away from each other. There's a middle ground that can be met. You meet it, and he plays for you. Your team's better on the field, and you've got one of the best locker room leaders in the National Football League talking with your young players every single day. Every single day, he's making them better. He's helping them out. Tyree Wilson's still a very young football player. He hasn't played out his first contract. You just got him for the cheap on a prove-it deal. Who's going to make him better on the field and off the field than Cam Jordan? I see no negatives in bringing Cam Jordan back to finish his career as a New Orleans Saint and only a New Orleans Saint.
Yeah, and there's no reason to stretch this out either. It's been so good for so long. Let's not do this. Just sign him. Sometimes the clear and obvious decision is clear and obvious for a reason, because you just got to keep it real simple.
Yeah.
He wants to be a Saint. You want him to be a Saint, I would think. He's still really productive, and he's not breaking the bank with what he's asking.
Right.
Just at least meet him in the middle, incentivize the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I think it is an easy choice.
We should call Mickey.
Yeah.
He's probably listening. Probably listening and picking up the phone right now.
That's right. He's shooting that latest offer.
You know what,
over to
Cam? Just listen to these guys in Baton Rouge talking. It's on me. I'm going to tap my chest on this one. You got it. Handshake.
Yes, no doubt. All right, we will step away. More OTB when we come back. Before we get to this break, though, I want to remind you about our friends over at K to Z Blinds, KTOZBlinds.com. K to Z Interiors and Outdoor Living. Been in the game since 2004. Have Brandon Barton and the team come out to your space. They're going to know your space, learn your space, change your space in a matter of 15 minutes. They've done it for me. They'll do it for you as well. And we always say it because it is factual. It's inside, it's outside. It's outside, it's inside. Sometimes it's going to be both, like it is for me with the motorized screen. It's outside. My daughter loves playing in that area. We can cool it off by dropping the shade by pressing one button. It goes down, and also it shades our entire living room. It's great on Sundays when you're out there and you're watching football. It is a game changer. They'll change the game for you as well. KTZBlinds.com. More OTB when we come back here live from the Raising Cane's studio.
Off the bench. Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn, presented by Community Steel.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here live from the Raising Cane studio. Tuesday shows, if you can't tell by the pretty bad yellow panels behind us, communitysteelco.com for community steel, buildings, sheeting, components.
Yep. That's Louisiana Steel.
Damn right it is.
Is there anything better than Louisiana Steel?
Nope.
They'll know.
They're forcing it now.
I know.
Yeah.
It just rolls off, though.
No, that's forced. We'll get back there. ESPN.com put out an article, and for every preseason top 25 team, it had a under-the-radar player. So they highlighted a player, talked about the player, and LSU's player is safety Ty Benefield, and he is somebody that transferred from Boise State, as we all know. He is somebody that when you go out to practice, you certainly notice very quickly in walking out onto the practice field. 6'3", 208 pounds. Started 33 games for the Broncos, including 28 straight games. He was the first defensive player to commit to Lane Kiffin and his staff out of the portal, and he's going to play a big role for LSU. And so that's the under-the-radar player that ESPN chose for LSU. I would say that he is a primetime player for LSU, and certainly everyone here in Baton Rouge excited to see what he can do on the field for the Tigers. And so we can go around. If you have a player, great. If you don't, it's not a big deal. But since he was the player that ESPN highlighted, and I think we all in this room agree that he is going to be one of your best players. We think he is going to be a leader on the defense. He's going to make a lot of plays. Jake Olson's done a great job with that safety group in the last couple of years. You think about A.J. Hawsey, Tamarcus Cooley. This is going to be the next guy up as far as safeties for LSU. And I'm going to go on the offensive side of the football for my most under-the-radar player. It's going to be Dylan Jones at running back, coming over from Wisconsin. I know Caden Durham. I know Harlan Berry are in the fold there. But if a game was played today in Tiger Stadium, I think Dylan Jones is the starting running back. And not to say the other guys aren't going to get the carries. They are. But there's a real trust factor there. You can tell by spring practice. You can tell by some of the quotes coming out of the building. They have a lot of belief in him. I caught up with some of the defensive guys last week, and he's a guy that they talked about because he's got a skill set of being able to run by you, run through you, and he's going to have a lot of run, no pun intended, here in the fall. So I think it's going to be a true three-headed monster at running back. It's going to be a three-man rotation. But I think we all thought going into spring it was going to be Durham and Berry, and that was kind of it. But now Dylan Jones is fully in the fold in that running back rotation. And don't be surprised if there's some games where he is the leading guy as far as carries in the game. And that's not something we talked about, again, coming into the spring. But after spring practice, he is certainly going to be a part of the offensive philosophy. And we'll see. We'll see how the running back rotation goes. It might be one of those rotations where it's a true by committee. Every game's going to be a little bit different. But whatever the different is, Dylan Jones is going to be a part of it.
Isn't that going to be fun to get back to the days where 3 running backs are probably going to have multiple premier games?
Yeah.
Like just differently, just because it might just someone might be feeling it, making their reads a little bit better opportunities, of course. And it just, you got 3. And to say that he, coming out of spring, would be the guy taking over both those guys. Think about Caden Durham's first year here. We were like, okay, we got the next All-American.
I think he was freshman of the year in the SEC offensively.
Yeah, we were like, we got the next guy. And then a year later, the offense is bad, but then the bright spot was a Harlan Berry. And we're like, wow, okay, well, is he better than Caden? Like,
yeah,
he's going to be the next All-American. But now, just a couple of months later, you're saying this new transfer would be the starter right now because of that trust factor, which it's still a little crazy for me to believe that, because I think it's going to be there's going to be 3 starting running backs, and we're very fortunate to have that. But you've talked about the championship teams that LSU has had. There's really only been one that had just one guy, one premier guy, and which was Clyde in 2019. I guess my under-the-radar guy, Taylor, I'm stealing it from Taylor here. I am not the guy that has followed the spring, but we do know that we have, I think, 48 receivers on our team, scholarship receivers. Some of them have to play more than others.
Yeah.
And what it looks like is he ran with the ones a lot. Good size, Taylor. He said he looked really good at practice. Malik Elsey. Elsey or LC?
LZ.
LZ. Okay, neither one. Malik LZ. Nailed it. 6'2", 215. Ran with the ones. And look, why is he under the radar? Because he only had 7 receptions last year for 84 yards. So, not the sexiest stats.
I mean, that's the definition of an under-the-radar guy.
Definitely a definition. Under the radar. Didn't cross triple digits last year in yards, but running with the ones. And to make your presence felt enough to be able to be running with the ones in that a receiver that's that big. I'm joking, obviously, about the numbers, but I mean they're in the teens.
Yeah, it's like
the
14
wide receivers.
guys.
14 guys in the receiver room. Somebody has to clear themselves from everybody else. Like I just don't understand. Like I even thought it was going to be receiver by committee. We looked up the stats from Lane Kiffin last year, and it really wasn't that. I was like, how many guys caught for 200 yards last year? Whatever. Like, was it? It really wasn't. They had their premier wide receivers, and so to think that they got to whittle it down to a handful of receivers from 14 is a wild thought to me. And I don't know when that starts to happen, but certainly Malik LZ, certainly he separated himself early on. So we'll see. We'll see if it keeps up. I don't judge anything based on spring. It's really when the summer starts, and then into the first couple of weeks of training camp is when I start really caring about what that depth chart looks like. But certainly he's got a potential to be an under-the-radar player.
I like that one. Tate Alondra, any more players that would fall into this category?
I guess for me, it's kind of hard because I get too complicated with it. Like define under the radar. I just don't.
ESPN didn't define
Funny
it.
enough, ESPN didn't define it. I don't think.
I don't know.
They had a
Because I
lazy
want
pick too.
I want to go Jackson Harris from Hawaii.
Yeah, I like that.
But I just don't know if that's under the radar.
I mean, he's coming from the Mountain West. I think that fits into the category.
I would define under the radar you think this guy's going to be household by the end of the season. Not a lot of people talking about him right now.
I agree.
I like Jackson Harris.
I think that's a good pick.
I do too.
I'm going to go defensive side of the ball, similar position to Ty Benefield. I'm going to Deshaun Spears.
Yeah.
This is a guy that I've liked for a few years now.
I mean, in recruiting, you used to love this
Yes.
guy.
Livingston Parish guy. Shout out. But Deshaun Spears came in 6'3". I think he played around 210 last year. Look, could you get him to 215, 220? If you do that, he's actually bigger than Harold Perkins playing the same spot at the star. We know he can run. He's got better coverage skills than Perkins. Putting him in that star position, which is why I love the Ty Benefield signing so much. My thought was if you get Benefield, it opens up everything in your secondary. You can move a guy like Deshaun Spears down. I think he's going to thrive there. I mean, I know Matt, that's his favorite position on the field, the star, but it's also a really important position on Blake Baker's defense. I think size-wise, he is perfect for that spot. I think he's going to make plays this year.
I like that one because even whenever you saw him a little bit, in the little bit that he played,
He had the pick six against Florida.
Yeah.
I think was he SEC Defensive Player of the Week that week?
He had 2 picks.
He did have
week.
2 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Defensive Player of the Week in the SEC that week.
Yeah, I like Deshaun Spears too.
Star position.
I just didn't know what the parameters for this assignment were.
ESPN told us it could be anything.
The
It could be
overarching
Sam
thought
Levitt.
of this, they made a lazy
Sam Levitt
pick.
is. It's it.
Yeah.
They're like, let's get the highest ranked defensive player they signed in the portal. He's the under the radar guy.
Yep.
Stupid. It's just
Funny,
not an under the radar player.
But in fairness, probably nobody's ever heard of him outside of either
locked
LSU
in.
fans
LSU
or
fans
are
sickos.
locked in.
That's fair.
Locked in. All right, that is our under the radar players. Also throw in Jordan Ross there, edge rusher coming over from Tennessee. That is somebody else to pay attention to here in this category. All right, we will take a break, wrap it up when we come back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to centralplumbing.org. Centralplumbing.org, not only in Central, in the entire greater Baton Rouge area, we are talking to you. 24/7, 365 emergency service, game day, holiday, does not matter. 225-230-9140. 225-230-9140 is the number. Not only in emergencies either. If you're looking to upgrade at your home, at your business, they can certainly come in and they can do that for you from the very beginning. If you've had a space for 30, 40 years and you just want to change it up, does not matter. They get it done. Centralplumbing.org.
That's right, Central Plumbing, centralplumbing.org. The plumbing experts in the greater Baton Rouge area. Whether it's commercial, residential, water lines, gas lines, it does not matter. There is no job that is too big or small for Central Plumbing. Third generation company. They got the experts. They know what to do in any situation. And guess what? If there's a situation that happens in the middle of the night, on a holiday, doesn't matter. They got 24/7 emergency service. Just call 225-230-9963, centralplumbing.org.
Off the bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. Presented by Community Steel.
If you need a friend, don't look to a stranger. You know in the end, I'll always be there. And when you're in doubt, and when you're in danger.
All right, welcome back here off the bench. Closing out the show here on a Tuesday. I want to tell you about our friends over at Go Tommy's.
Yo, Tommy!
Hey, Go Tommy! Well, go to GoTommys.com. Windows, doors, sidings. The best in the business. Number one, hanging the banners every single year since 2016. Why? Because they're the best. You got a project happening, make sure you call Tommy and see why they get award after award after award. We're talking lifetime warranties, too. So if you got a big project, small project, doesn't really matter. Tommy's, windows, doors, siding. GoTommys.com. That was a good Yo Tommy.
Thank you. I've been trying to
I never gotten to do it.
work
before.
up the
I was happy to do it as
courage
well.
to do it. Yeah.
Hey, Tommy.
Sorry, I was talking with the Moose about the Braves.
How'd it go?
Basically, best team in baseball.
Yesterday, Chris goes, "Hey, Tommy."
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah. He likes to jump the gun on things like
Well,
certain posts
just
about
texted
joining the show.
in the group.
Marler Mondays. Renaming our show? Get out of here. All right, Ask the Bench brought to you by Ice Cold Dos Equis. It is always a great time to go for Dos. Ask the Bench. Would you bet all of your
that sounds
DK
more like a
cash
whip.
on LSU baseball to win the Natty for $50,000?
No.
Yeah.
The DK cat?
The DK cash, I would, just
Yeah.
because. Why not?
I don't know if I have a lot.
Yeah, I don't have it. That's what I
I
said.
got one
No,
of
I
the
don't think I
natties.
have any.
What are the odds?
Oh, wow.
Probably pretty-
Gulf South. Ask the Bench. Do assistant pre-K teachers count as hear me outs? No.
What a callback.
No. We're
Not
already-
if you've already been heard.
Delandra already told you about
Yeah.
this.
I don't think anything like that. This list, hall pass, nothing can be in your community.
No.
Hashtag Ask the Bench. Will Jake still be a man when he turns 41 coming up? I don't know. It's not my Mike Gundy year, so
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm on the other side of it for sure.
It's all downhill from here.
Got to call Mike and find out. I mean, he ain't busy.
Call Mike.
Have you even hit your prime yet? Like me?
Hashtag Ask the Bench. Favorite store-bought jar of salsa?
Clint's.
Like on the border.
Yeah.
Front border's good.
Frontera's the best.
Never had
Albert's.
Cilantro, salsa, yeah.
Okay.
Frontera, very good.
I'm talking about the ones like that aren't in the refrigerator.
Yours is probably like paste.
Yeah, they're-
Yeah, Frontera's not.
No,
Nah.
neither is
that.
Clint's.
Did you say pace?
He's like paste. New York City.
New York City. We love you. We
That's
thank
in America.
Off the bench.
you. Huh?
USA. That's how we end every show, bro.
Go America.
Mr. Big, we'll answer that question tomorrow. It's a good question. But right now, we're going to tell you about Rejuve Me, RejuveMeMedical.com. I am about to be 41 years old, but you know what? It's okay. Just chill out over there because you can feel like your youthful self at 41, at 51, at 61 when you go see Rejuve Me Medical, 13 locations across Louisiana, one also in Mississippi. It is going to be a very easy process for you as well. Go and get your blood work. And they're going to get you on a path for success. Your path, because your path is going to be different, but it's your path for success. RejuveMeMedical.com.
That's right. Jake said it, man. It is easy. There is a fix for everything, and your hormones might not be right. Something might be off in your body that you don't even know about. Go start the conversation. Get that blood. Whether it's peptide treatment, whether it's HRT, they are Louisiana's leader for the last 10 years in hormone replacement therapy. Go check them out. Feel better, look better. RejuveMeMedical.com.